Hello again, beautiful artists, and welcome back to another episode of Paint Along with Skye. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Skye and I post beginning level acrylic painting tutorials here on YouTube every Saturday. So make sure to hit subscribe so you can join the fun and paint along. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified when I post a new video. This week we are back at the beach one more time here for our summer months, winding out the summer here, and we have a very relaxing tropical scene with a beverage which I'm calling the lime and the coconut. And we're going to be using our 4 standard brushes as per usual with this class. So I have a kit here that comes with 4 sizes. I have a large square wash brush, a medium-sized pointed brush, and 2 small detail brushes. I'm gonna get those in the water cup off the side of the screen here. And the colors that I have to start with for today's background step, I have some violet, aka purple, some cadmium red, cadmium orange, cadmium yellow, fair amount of white here, and a little bit of burnt sienna brown. To see a full materials list of everything that you need and that I recommend, check the description box below and it will take you to a materials page on my website and show you everything that you need to paint along. All right, I think we are ready to go. Let's go ahead and jump on in. All right, so we're gonna start today with a really simple and beautiful gradation here of our sunset colors. But just so we can see how far we need to take our sunset colors down, I'm gonna start with my second to smallest baby brush, and I'm going to create a horizon line first. So I have a little bit of yellow and a little bit of white. I add a little bit of water as well, mixed right into my paint to make it nice and smooth. I'm going to eyeball about between 1/4 and 1/3 of the way up here on my canvas, and I'm just gonna do a little curve, gentle curve like so. And I actually want it to be a little bit further up on that side, but we can sort of adjust things later once we're filling in too. This is just a little preliminary sketch line so that we can get our place here and have a horizon. So now we're going to take our gradation here, our blending of colors from one color to the next, from the top down, and I'm going to grab my largest square brush for that. And we're going to start at the top of our canvas. I'm going to add a little bit of white into my paint so that I have a little bit of a lighter violet. And I've got my paint loaded up on my brush, and I'm going to take it across the top part of my canvas, back and forth, long horizontal brush strokes. And we just need to go a few brush strokes down, and we're going to start moving into our gradation now, which is where we're going to gradate our purple into pink. So I just have red and white, and I mix this over in my light purple so that I have a little bit of light purple on my brush too. And I didn't wash my brush in between colors. And what we want to do is blend that purple into the pink. All right, and we don't want to go too far down. We're still working up top here. We want to have plenty of space down here for our lighter colors, which is going to next be orange. And I'm going to do the same thing where I'm blending my orange over here in this light pink just to get a little bit of that pigment, that color on my brush too. And then I'll take my orange right underneath. And don't be shy, blend the colors into each other, up and down. You can always add more of any color that you might need. I'm going to rinse my brush now, and since that first orange stripe I added was orange with a little bit of pink, I'm going to come in here with just orange and white, a gorgeous sherbet color. And now I'm almost all the way down to my original sketch line there for my horizon. I'm going to rinse my brush again and take a little bit of that same light yellow that we used to create our horizon line. And I'm going to take my brush stroke right along the top part of that line. But then I'm going to start going horizontally again and blend that up into my orange. Okay, so there we have our beautiful sunset gradation. We actually want all of our brush strokes going back and forth, even though we went a little wonky with that. So we're not taking that wonky line up through our sunset. We got horizontal lines for all of our stripy colors. And I'm going to grab a little bit more red and add it in because we got sort of lost in things. And I love to have nice, vibrant colors, in case you haven't noticed at this channel. All right. Very vibrant. And I think I'm going to do the same thing with a little bit more of a brighter orange too. And you can work your sunset until it looks good. If you overwork it, things could get a little muddy. So just bring it to a point where you feel like it's looking pretty good and then step away. All right, but I do think I want to add a little bit more purple too, since we added that first, or all those colors from before. Might as well do our purple too. Get all of those first colors laid down again. Very satisfying. Beautiful colors today. All right, looks good. I think I'm going to retire my large brush for now. And I'm going to grab instead my medium-sized pointed brush. I'm going to mix up a sand color now, which is mostly going to be my burnt sienna brown, but I'm going to add some yellow and some white. A little bit of water added in, always to almost every color, especially when we're getting down this first layer of paint onto our canvas, because we want it to soak into that canvas texture for that nice smooth first layer. And I'm now bringing my sand color up to that horizon line, and I'm making sure I have a nice, clean, seamless transition into the yellow. No white canvas showing. After this first half, we're going to have a whole layer of paint on every inch of our canvas. We don't need very much color variation down here. We're just getting our base color laid in, and those brush strokes, we're just going to go back and forth, and then they'll sort of curve up with the shape. And once we have everything all filled in, we are going to let this layer dry. All right, so we're going to step away for a few minutes, making sure everything looks nice and smooth. All right. Looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and step away, let this layer dry, and we'll come back and add a whole bunch more. I'll see everyone in a few. Okay, welcome back, artists. We have a completely dry background here, and then I also have some fresh colors on my piece of palette paper. So I have some more white, some more black, or a little bit of black, a little bit of phthalo green, a little bit of cadmium yellow and cadmium red, some more of our burnt sienna brown, and a little bit more violet as well. I rinsed my brushes and got some fresh water at break also. Let's go ahead and jump right back on into it. we're going to now work on our focal point, which is going to be our gorgeous coconut drink. So I'm going to grab my second to smallest detail brush and mix up a coconut brown with my burnt sienna, a little bit of white, and a little bit of black. Just a pinch of black. A little goes a long way. We want it to be noticeably darker than our sand color. All right, it looks about right to me. And I'm going to now place my coconut a little off center. And I'm going to, you can either start at the bottom or the top, kind of whatever feels comfortable with this shape. I'm going to do a curved line here from the bottom, and then it will sort of round towards the top where our coconut would be sliced. So we're going to have a little circular horizontal shape there up top. And that was actually pretty good on my first try. So we'll go ahead and go with it. And we are going to fill in the main bottom part of our coconut here with that dark brown. And I'm going to use my next size up brush just to expedite things a little bit here. A little bit of black and white, just mixing up some more of my coconut brown. And a little bit of water added in. And we just want to fill the bottom part of our coconut in with that dark brown and have it be nice and opaque, not see-through. Get that all filled in. And you can sort of adjust your shape if you need to as you're filling in. I'm making mine just a smidge bigger. All right, and I'm going to add a little bit of white for a lighter color here for the inside of our coconut. Just like so. Pretty white, because that's going to be the inside there, the flesh of the coconut, but a little bit of brown in there too, since it's shadowed and it's sort of a nighttime scene, or sunset scene rather. Not too bright. All right, that looks cute. I'm gonna grab my smaller brush and just add a little bit more fresh white, sort of right towards the center top there. Okay, we have a great coconut shape to get us started out there. I'm going to now take a brown that is also more on the dark side. I'm gonna have it be a little bit more grayish than the coconut brown. And this is going to be our shadow color down in our sand. All right, so I have a little bit of that dark grayish brown loaded up on my second to smallest detail brush. You can use your smaller brush if you would prefer. And I'm going to go along the top of the horizon there. And also around where my coconut is and lives there in the sand. And I'm just going to do a few little horizontal brush strokes around it there at the bottom, and then sort of touching the bottom too, where the shadow would touch the sand, and a little bit coming from behind as well. And then I'm going to take a little bit more water, and I have sort of a wash here, so less brown, less opacity. And I like to kind of come up from the horizon there with a little bit of shadow to give it some depth. Keeping our brush strokes horizontal, but also sort of moving along with the shape. Just making sure my shapes all stay clear there. And then those are our shadows. So let's add some highlights now too. I'm going to use a larger brush for this and mix up a lighter sandy color and also have a little bit of water in it. And I'm going to come in here in the areas that we sort of have left over and add some of our highlights as well, and that should give our sand a little bit of depth too. Let's make it a little bit warmer with some yellow. And just fun to add another secondary tone there of beige. Okay, looking good. Very cute. And I think a little bit more texture here. I'm actually going to sort of add a little bit of waviness to my brush strokes too, so they're not completely back and forth. So that we just get some movement in the sand, just subtle. Just a little bit of sort of movement along with the shape of our original horizon line there. All right, and I'm going to grab my second to smallest detail brush again and come back and add some nice dark shadow on the bottom part of my coconut. And I'm going to take that sort of neutral gray brown and make it a little bit darker with some more brown and a little bit more black too. And I'm going to take that color right along the bottom of my coconut for a nice dark shadow. All right, and let's leave the bottom part mostly alone for now. And we're going to jump back into our background. And I'm going to use the same second to smallest detail brush, and I'm going to add now a palm tree coming up from behind the hillside here. And it's really simple to add. I'm just going to start with a curved line, and then I'm going to thicken it up a little bit as we get towards the base. Okay, so thinner at the top, thicker at the bottom, and it's coming up from behind the hill, like in the mid ground. So we're just going to bring it right to the hill, and it's going to stop there. The little horizontal line along the horizon. All right. And then from the top part, we're going to do curved brush strokes that come out from the top and go every which way. And you can end up with however many you like. I ended up with 5 of these guys today. And then we're going to come along the first line and just with a flick of the wrist, add little brush strokes on either side of your palm fronds. And you're gonna think about how gravity would pull these shapes down. So they're all facing down, but they're also sort of going along with the initial curve of that brush stroke too. So Just going from either side here, thinking about gravity. All right. Always satisfying to see a palm tree with your sunset. Okay, very cute, very simple to add. I thought long and hard about adding multiple palm trees, but I think we're just gonna leave it at one today. All right, I wanna work back on my coconut again for a little while. I'm going to go in the actual coconut part for a bit with some highlights and shadows as well. Gotta add our highlights and shadows. That's what acrylic painting is all about, is you create your shapes, you fill in your background colors or base colors, whatever you'd like to call it, and then you add highlights and shadows. And it's that simple. You gotta layer it up, background to foreground. Let's take some just sort of medium warm brown first, a little bit lighter. I'm going to go one shade lighter with this and start to add some scruffy texture coming up and down, but also sort of curving along with the shape of the coconut. Okay, nice. Making sure I have a nice clean brush. So I'm also going to take a little bit of scruffy texture actually outside of our little coconut shape. Okay, because we have the scruffy hairs. And then let's take a darker shadow color. Actually, this one looks pretty good. And I'm going to go right along those same scruffy bits so that they show up a little better. And then I'm also going to just take little flicks of the wrist for that little hairy coconut texture on the inside of our shape there too. Okay, so darker color, make sure it's dark enough to visibly be different than your coconut base color. Small little brush strokes kind of blending in with the paint is okay. Working with that slightly wet brown still. Make sure that you get the shadow color again on those little furry bits that come outside the lines of the shape there. Really gotta get that scruffy texture in. And then let's take a light highlight. We'll take that a few places, mostly sort of in the center, and then a little bit towards the sides as well. Cute. And it's nice to sort of have some stripiness and a little bit of blending too. So it's a little bit of a play. All right, that's looking cute. I'm going to grab a little bit of that shadow color again, just to fine tune where it's touching down here on the sand. Cute. All right, I like it. And then that still needs to dry a little bit. So we're gonna add our other little fun touch, which is going to be a plumeria blossom. So I'm going to use my second to smallest little detail brush again, and I'm going to load that brush up just with white, and I'm going to come right alongside my coconut and add a petal. And we want to have 5 petals, and I like to start with a sort of circular shape with the petals, and then we will adjust them a little bit Okay, so we have 5, and they don't have to be all exactly the same size, but we do want 5 little petals. And then I'm going to have them come out a little bit more pointed. So we have sort of like a star shape. Really cute. You might want to go around and around a few times, getting that star shape finessed, if you will. Lovely. All right, and then let's leave that white star alone for now. And it looks like we can go back into our coconut and add a little bit of fun stuff there. So first things first, go ahead and add a straw, very important. I'm going to do a light purple straw. Gotta make sure we can enjoy our beverage. Very simple shape there, just 2 lines. Straight lines, one sort of diagonal and then one coming down into the drink, also on a diagonal. Okay, so we got our base color there of purple, but we of course need to add highlights and shadows too to every single part of the painting. So I just took a little bit of black, added it into some purple for a darker purple. And I have a tiny bit of white still in that paint too. Purple doesn't have very much opacity, so it's nice to add a little bit of white. And then with this shadow color, we're just going to go along one side of the straw and the other side. And then we can also do a little bit of like a curved brush stroke along the top. Right there, whoop. Little curve. I know my hand is blocking. Try to move it out of the way after every little step. Okay. And rinsing my brush, coming in now with a lighter purple and adding a little highlight there in the center. My straw got a little thick, but oh well. All right, and then I'm going to take some sort of medium brown and just freshen up the lip there of my coconut, just where my straw meets it. It's just something that I needed to do. And then we're going to add an umbrella as well, very important. And I think I'm also going to do a purple umbrella. And I'm just going to do a little triangular shape with a curve along the bottom. And I started a little small. I think I'm going to bring it out a little bigger. Okay, so cute. And then filling that in with purple, but making sure that the brush strokes go along the triangular shape. Even the direction of your brush strokes matter. All adds to that final effect. Okay, cute. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of my dark brown again. I have a clean brush and I'm just going to attach the bottom part of my umbrella to my drink as well. Okay, very cute. And then let's let that dry for just half a second. And I'm going to mix up a lime color. So I'm gonna take my phthalo green, mix it with yellow and a little bit of white, and get a beautiful vibrant lime green. We'll put our lime slice in here as well. We want a nice crowded drink. We're just going to have a little slice shape here. right along the side of our coconut. So cute. And let's take a darker green, a little bit more phthalo, and a pinch of black. And we'll do the skin of the lime along the curved part. Cute. And then with a clean brush and a little bit of white, I'm gonna take a white stripe right along that edge. And then from a center point here, we'll do little lines that come up from the center towards your white and green line for a little lime. How cute. And then of course we have to finish off our umbrella too, taking a little bit of white to do a little dot there on the end of the umbrella. And then we'll have little dots on the outside here too. And I'm going to do 4 dots and then connect them to the top. And those will be little apparatuses that hold the umbrella together. Shadow color now of purple. A little bit darker, just going to put that there in the in-between. Okay. And I think I'm going to take a little bit of white and add it just here in our coconut, just so we have a little peekaboo through there. And I'm actually going to take this opportunity to make my straw a little smaller. Fine-tuning things slightly, only if you need it. A little better. Pretty cute still. All right, and now since I have everything sort of in place, I'm going to take another little swipe along the top. Make sure every little ingredient is cozy in there. All right, and then we can finish off our plumeria. Still using that same small brush. And I'm going to just take a little swipe of yellow into each petal. And then I'm blending around there ever so slightly. And then I'm gonna mix up a quick orange with just some red and yellow together. And do an even smaller little star on the inside. And then to finish off our plumeria, I'm going to take a little bit of gray, like a dark gray, in my very tiniest brush. And I'm going to outline my petals. All the way on the outside. And bringing the line all the way towards the center too, sort of accentuates the star shape of it. And then a little black dot just in the center, looks nice as well. I think I went a little too heavy-handed with my black right there, so I'm going to add some white to balance it off. And then I think we need a little bit of shadow near our plumeria too. So I'm going to come back with that dark brown that I mixed up from before and add a few little shadow marks around my cute little plumeria too. Very cute. All right, pretty cute little tropical scene here. I'd love to know what you thought of today's painting in the comments section below. Can't wait to hear from you. I'd also love to see your work, and I've created a Facebook group called the Art Club that you can join and share your work, whether it be from painting along with me or just from your own studios and imaginations. I'd love to have you over there. There's a link in the description box below to join us. And that is all the instruction that I have for us this week. So I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, stay creative.